So hello, I'm Nomad Dave of Manic Nomads, and
this is Nomad Roy.
And today we're going to show you how to take off and put back on the front tire of a Triumph Explorer XC. This happens to be a 2004 model, and if you want to check out more about Manic Nomads, you can visit us at www.manicnomads.com and check out our 3-year journey around the world on our motorcycles.
All right.
So first thing we need to do is get the bike up on its stand, so we're going to do that here.
One person can do this job, but it's a lot easier with two, so we're going to do...
I can't do it by myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Here.
1, 2, 3. Is it in gear? Oh.
Okay.
Well, I think we can redo that one.
Okay, well that's how hard it is to get this bike up.
Yeah, it was a bit more effort than I thought it would take. It's a heavy bike.
Now we've got it on the stand. We're going to go about taking off the front wheel.
All right.
So we got the bike up on the stand, and now I'm going to put blocks underneath this here, so when the tire comes off it has something to rest on. We're on a little bit of an incline here, so it's probably going to be okay, but depending on how you have your bike situated, you may need this to support the bike after the front tire comes off. One reason you may want to take off your tire is if you get a puncture when you're out in the middle of nowhere or just not near a tire store, and you need to take it off to get it to where you can get it repaired, which is what happened to me and why I ended up learning how to do this. So the tools that you need are a 3/8 inch socket wrench right here, and you need a 17 millimeter socket here. Now the one I have is this is a 1/2 inch fitting, so I also needed a 1/2 inch, a 3/8 inch to a 1/2 inch fitting, so that I could actually use the socket wrench that I have. And I have the 3/8 inch socket wrench because it's good for other maintenance I do on my bike, and I don't want to carry two. So just with this adapter, this works. This here is used over on this side of the bike.
And Dave, where did you purchase that?
Well, just at an auto supply store.
Okay.
So these tools are easy to get at any auto supply store, and this is used to take the axle out from the tire. Okay, so I also am not very strong, and I can't loosen this just with this small socket wrench. So what I do is I also have to extend this to give me more leverage. I got this extension bar, which is a 3/8 inch on one side, but because this won't fit over the end of my socket wrench, I found this extender, and it's 3/8 inch here, so this fits in this way and locks in, and then this is just big enough to go over this, so it gives me the leverage that I need to get this loose. Okay, so I use this, and I use this also for my rear tire when I have to loosen the lug nuts, so it's very useful. Okay, so that's the apparatus for this. The other thing you need is whatever these are called.
That's an Allen wrench.
Allen wrench, yeah. And this is a 6 millimeter Allen wrench. And this is used here in the front to loosen two bolts that keep this tight around the axle. So the axle screws in, but then to keep this tight, you have these two bolts that need to be loosened first with this Allen wrench. So this is what this is used for. Now I also use my 3/8 inch socket wrench with this. This here is a 9/16 inch fitting socket, and it comes over here on this side, and it's used to loosen these two bolts, which we need to do to remove this brake pad. Now there's one of these on each side. This is your brake. It's not attached to the tire at all, but the reason you need to take this off is because if you look between the tire here, you'll see that the rim of the tire is too wide when both these brakes are on. You don't have to remove both brakes. I've seen other videos about taking off your front tire for a Tiger Triumph, and it says take off both of these. It says take off this mud flap. None of that is necessary. All you need to do is take one off so that you have enough room when you take the bolt, the axle from the tire out, that you're able to slip the tire off. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to go through all the steps. First, we're going to remove this one brake pad on this side of the bike. And you could take it off on either side, it doesn't matter. I'm just happen to be taking it off on this side, and you can see how simple it is. Okay, just lay that down there. And remember, I'm not mechanical at all. I never wanted to learn this much about my motorcycle, but it becomes imperative when you have a flat. And even if you're at home and you just need to take your tire in to get a new tire put on, it's a lot cheaper if you take the tire off your bike yourself and take it in for repairs. So this brake just slips off like that, and this again, this part here is not your tire. It's nothing, your tire is not attached to this. So just taking this off simply gives you room to pull the tire out, as I explained before. This can just be left here to hang for now. And now we're going to go to the other side, where we're going to take the axle out. And first we're going to loosen these two nuts that are simply pressing this this hole here for the axle to go in, and they're very simple to take out. You can see it just takes me a second. Okay, so that is out. Actually, you know what? I don't even need to take them out. I just need to loosen them. And so I'm going to take the one I just took out, I'm going to put back in right away. So I don't forget it. Yeah, it really just has to be just barely loosened, and it does the trick. Now, what happens is, I've seen people do this before that were working on my bike. So put this fitting in. They tried to loosen this without loosening these, and you'll never get there. You'll never be able to do it. So this is where I need that leverage, and because I'm really not very strong, and so I'm getting up and
that is on there tight, Dave.
Okay.
There it goes.
Okay, so it's coming off. Now I got it. So we don't need this part anymore. and this just turns. There's the only thing, as this comes out, you'll see this piece, if you can come a little, if you can see this piece right in here, this is not attached and it can fall off.
So you let some sun there. There we go.
Sorry. So I'm just turning this now. If you look on this side, if you look right in this hole here, you'll see this is where the axle goes, and when it's all the way screwed in, it comes right to the edge.
Yeah, I can see
now
the
there's
threads.
now there's a hole in there, and as I unscrew this more,
yeah, it's retreating.
yeah. Okay, at this point, I can just pull this axle out. Comes out very easily, and you can see here now it's out there. This piece, this little piece here, it can come off, and I've discovered that this is all the way out now. This is the axle, and now because I've taken off this brake pad over here,
it just slips right out of the other one.
Slips right out of the other one, and now your tire is off. You have just one brake pad here.
That's disconnected.
Disconnected.
Right? And the other one just stays
You can
in place.
you can see right here where these come in here, but again the rim of the tire is too big, so yeah, you just have that to get the room. Now, if you look here, this piece comes out. This is what the axle comes through. When I did this the first time, this dropped on the ground because I didn't know, and I thought, oh God, does it matter which direction it is? Well, come to find out, it doesn't. So if this falls and you weren't paying attention, don't worry, just make sure it's back in here before you put the axle back in. So, and there's one of those on each side of the tire. Okay, so now,
so as you take it in, would you suggest taking them out and keeping them in a safe place?
Great question. That's exactly what you do. Take them out so that they don't get lost, and it doesn't matter which side they go on, again, because it doesn't matter. Now, you do want to make sure you put the tire back on with the correct side. And what I did was I took a picture with my cell phone of each side because they do look slightly different. If you notice, this one has some kind of thing here with lots of holes in it. On this side, it does not have that. This is the right hand side on my bike. I assume it's the same on others, but for your own comfort, you might just want to take a picture. So we're done. We got the tire back now, let's say, from the shop, and we want to put it back in. Well, same thing, just roll it back in into position. This part here slips because this one on this side we didn't loosen. On the right hand side we didn't loosen this one. So you just make sure when you slide it back in that this goes in the groove of the brake pads. And then on this side, because it's loose, you simply need to pull it out for the time being so you have room to get the tire in there. And you want to then lift up the tire to where you can get the axle back in. Now this is a little tricky as a one-man job, but you can do it. And so right now I'm just trying to lift this up enough that I got it in, and I got it in one side. Now this fell out, so I'm gonna make sure I got grass out of it, put it back in there. Now I can hold it up, got it lined up, and now my axle is in almost in the right place. Now I gotta start screwing it in, and
I'd like to help you out, Dave, but
hope the threads catch.
we need to show this as a one-man job.
Yeah. So
Doing great.
this is the trickiest part, getting this back in, and it's there in the right spot. Just trying to tap it to see if I can get it to where the threads will catch. Okay. So that's in the right spot. There, it slipped in. You can feel that go in. And now use this. Now over here, put my socket wrench back on there. And now I can start tightening it up. Now it's going in. You can see that my axle is getting shorter and shorter as far as the part sticking out. Okay, now it's tight. And you can see on this side, it's now sticking out just a fraction here. Okay, now I'm gonna have to tighten these up, but I'm gonna tighten this up more before I do that with my extension. But before I do that, I'm gonna put the brake pad back on the left hand side. So I put my thing there. Okay, this, you can see the screws there and there, so just fit that back over there, and it really is quite simple to line up. Okay. Okay, obviously I'm not going to tighten this too much before I put the other screw in, so I have a little flexibility, but this one here has the reflector on it. You can, if you forget what direction the reflector faces, you can easily look on the other side of the bike and see what it's supposed to be. But on my bike, anyway, they're sticking up like parallel to that part of the bike. So just screw these on and you'll have brakes again.
This is a very important thing to have.
Sure is. You never know when a cow's going to run out in front of you.
Or reindeer.
Or reindeer, yeah, we've had both. Okay, so that's on there nice and tight. Everything's back, the tire's on there. Now I just have to tighten it up on the other side. So you see, you can do this whole process without removing your mud guard, without removing both of these. It's really a very, very quick and simple process to do this, and it's a much better way to get your bike serviced if you're stuck out in a remote area and you don't want to have your bike towed, which is expensive. You can just get a car that's passing by to stop, and you can throw the tire into the car if you're smart, and if you have a real big gash that can't be fixed, which happened to me in Myanmar, you put a tube in this tire if you have one with you. And I now, after my incident in Myanmar, I carry a spare tube for both my front and back tires. So now that I got this lug nut very tight, I'm just tightening these nuts here, and the job will be done. And so very minimal number of tools required, and even a mechanical novice such as myself can do the job. Okay, so I'm tightening these down just as much as I can with my hand. It doesn't need to be any tighter than that. So there you go.
Nice, excellent job.
That's how you do a front tire for a Triumph Explorer XC. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll try to produce more on other things that you need to know along the road. So
right on, Dave. All right, not bad for a rookie.
Not bad for a rookie.